to become spontaneous, doesn't matter if it's point fighting or continuous fighting or self-defense techniques, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's against a knife or a club attack. Right? In order to become spontaneous, you do have to develop your physical speed, your perceptual speed, and your mental speed, right? And when you do that, you want to realize one thing. Perceptual speed and mental speed work as a pair. They belong together. I'll explain that more in a moment. You cannot work either one of them really separately. It would make no sense. All right? Physical speed is completely separate. Physical speed, you don't even have to imagine the attack. Physical speed means how fast can you punch or how fast can you kick, right? That kind of stuff, right? And you can work that completely independent of anything else, right? That's not our weak point. Physical speed is not the weakness in Kenpo. It tends to be our strength. The weak area is typically, not just in Kenpo, but in almost any martial art, the weak area is perceptual speed and mental speed, which really just means doing the right thing at the right time. That's the easiest way to think about it. Do the right thing at the right time, right? The key to developing perceptual speed, and that's the first thing you have to get good at, right? You have to identify what's happening before you can decide what to do about it. However, this is something we can do in training constantly. But this means one thing. Every time you do a technique, it does not matter what technique you're doing. Be clear about, is this an odd stance or an even stance technique? That's essential. It's one of the most essential things that you need to first get used to when it comes to perceptual speed and physical speed. We're sparring right now, right? This is a good opportunity for you to do a front kick. Not at the moment, right? We're in an even stance. That's why you don't see a lot of front kicks in point fighting, for example, right? Because immediately we're in an even stance, and where are you going to kick me with a front kick, right? Especially with your rear leg. Well, you can kick me in the, in the side of the leg, maybe, right? But even the front leg, it often tends to be something that you can't reach with, right? How many times you see somebody using them in actual ring fighting or point fighting? Not much because of that, right? Could you use a roundhouse kick? All right, show me a roundhouse kick. So already, right away, and by the way, he did not hesitate on that, neither would you. Go like, well, of course, roundhouse kick fits perfect. That's why you see so many of those, right, in sparring, because people have a tendency of sparring in the even stance. Okay? Now, I switch. How do you feel about your roundhouse kick? You're finding a good target for it? You can try. You can try to kick me in the kidney. Now, if it was a street situation, you kick me in the back of the leg, of course. That's a good target. But right now we're talking about point fighting, so just because now it's an odd stance, there goes your roundhouse kick. Right? How about the front kick? That now is a gem. Right? That now is something, and a lot of point fighters forget this. So if I'm really good with my rear hand punch, I'm going to run right into this front kick, especially your back leg. Because if all you got to do is threaten me with a rear hand punch, and I'm trying to do a rear hand punch, and so he's already like setting me up, right? And then the moment I move in, it was never going to be the rear hand punch for him at all. He's baiting me with that, right? And then I'm going to run right into his back, kick, and I'm walking right into that. What a beautiful opportunity for a front kick. Provided we are in odd stance. All right? So can you see how even stance and odd stance is one of the first things you need to be clear on? Because it tells you what your choices are. You should recognize that that was right there a combination of perceptual speed and mental speed. What's the first thing we're perceiving? Other than the distance, is the position, right? So the moment I realize, oh, it's an odd stance, or oh, it's an even stance, I already know what my choices might be. It clearly feeds mental speed, right? All right, so move around a little bit, and for right now, let's do a roundhouse kick with the front leg. Like you're trying to sneak that bit, the kick in. The idea of odd stance, even stance is universal. In other words, it doesn't matter if you're thinking of point fighting or any type of fighting, or if you're thinking of doing your self-defense technique, right? So let me have you one more time here, Mr. Shields.